During my wedding, my husband whispered, "You have to pay me your $7,800 monthly salary, or I will marry your pregnant rich sister." I refused, so he pushed me away and invited my sister to take my place. I was shocked when my sister and family accepted his proposal. I walked out of my wedding dress and drove straight to the courthouse. The venue kept calling, but I ignored every buzz on my phone as I sat in the parking lot with my lawyer on speaker. Let me back up. 3 days before the wedding, I came home early with food poisoning. I was supposed to work a double at the hotel, but I could barely stand. I opened our apartment door and heard him on the phone in the bedroom, laughing in a way I'd never heard before. "Dude, I've been playing both sisters for 8 months. Sky's got that steady hotel manager money, but Janet's sitting on the real inheritance. Their dad owns 6 hotels across the state." He paused, listening. "Yeah, she's 4 months pregnant. Doesn't matter whose it is, I'll claim it. Old man loves family legacy, right? Once I'm in, I'm set." My hand was on the doorknob. I stood frozen. Sky's the safe bet, but Janet's the jackpot. Her trust fund kicks in at 25, and she's desperate for attention. If Sky doesn't hand over her paycheck like we discussed, I'll just switch sisters at the altar. Her family won't cause a scene at their own wedding. I recorded the next 20 minutes on my phone. Every word, every laugh, every calculation. Then I called my dad's estate lawyer, the one who'd handled everything after Mom died. Took 2 days, but we found something interesting in the paperwork. That trust fund my sister thought she'd inherit at 25 had a clause. Any marriage before 30 required trustee approval. I was the trustee. Dad said it that way after she blew through $60,000 at casinos in 1 year. The wedding day came. I got ready alone, did my own makeup, straightened my dress. My sister kept texting about how excited she was to be my maid of honor, how she couldn't wait to see me married. I didn't respond. I walked down that aisle knowing exactly what would happen. The church was packed, 200 people watching. When I reached the altar, he looked at me with those cold eyes and leaned in close. "Last chance, Sky. Your salary goes into our joint account or I'm done here." I looked him dead in the face and said loud enough for the front row to hear, "Not a single dollar." That's when he did it, right there in front of everyone. Pushed me aside, not hard enough to make me fall, but enough that I stumbled in my heels. He grabbed the mic from the priest and said, "I'm sorry everyone, but I can't marry someone this selfish. Janet, would you come up here?" My sister, 6 months pregnant in her lavender bridesmaid dress, actually hesitated. But my dad, my own father, nodded at her, encouraged her. She walked up those altar steps and took my flowers from my hands, our mother's roses. The priest looked confused, but my dad stood up and announced, "Life brings unexpected changes. Let's celebrate love in whatever form it takes." Half the guests started clapping. Some looked horrified, but they stayed seated. I turned around, walked back down that aisle, and drove straight to the lawyer's office. We'd prepared everything in advance. I signed the papers while they were exchanging vows with my flowers, my rings I'd bought myself, my venue I'd paid for. See that $7,800 salary he wanted? It wasn't just from managing one hotel. 2 years ago, after my sister's gambling spiral, my dad quietly transferred the entire hotel chain into my name. All 6 properties, the corporation, the accounts, everything. He made me CEO and told me to never tell her. She thought she'd inherit it all when he eventually passed. But the trust fund she was counting on, the one she'd been spending against for years with loans and credit cards, legally reverted to me the moment she married without my written approval. The clause was specific. Any marriage before age 30 without trustee consent meant immediate forfeiture. I was the trustee. By the time they cut their cake, my sister followed me to my car, walking unsteady. She just blurted out, "There's no baby. There never was." She pulled up the dress to show me the prosthetic belly. But he only proposed when I told him I was pregnant, so I can't take it back now. Her voice went small. "I already told everyone it's a boy." She grabbed my arm hard. "You have to help me find a baby before anyone figures it out." Through the venue windows, I saw him watching us with his phone to his ear. I looked at Janet standing there in my wedding venue parking lot, one hand holding up that fake belly like she was showing me a deflated tire. Her mascara was running down her cheeks and she kept wiping it with the back of her hand, making it worse. She was breathing fast like she'd just run a mile. "You need to help me, Sky. Please. I'm begging you. He's going to find out, and then Dad's going to find out, and I'll lose everything." I pulled my arm away from her grip. Her fingers had left red marks on my skin. "You already lost everything. You just don't know it yet." "What's that supposed to mean?" Her voice went sharp. I unlocked my car. The venue music was still playing inside. I could hear laughter through the windows. "It means the trust fund you're counting on? The one you've been taking loans against for like 3 years? It's gone. The second you married without my approval, it reverted to me. Every dollar." Janet's face went completely white, like actually drained of all color. She grabbed the car door to steady herself. "You're lying. You're just mad about the wedding." "I'm really not. Dad made me trustee after Atlantic City. Remember that weekend you came home $60,000 in debt and he had to bail you out?" She started shaking her head over and over. No, he wouldn't do that. I'm his daughter, his baby girl. So am I." I opened my car door. The interior light came on. "And I just watched you marry my fiancé at my wedding wearing my mother's flowers, so honestly, Janet, I'm fresh out of sympathy right now." "Sky, wait, please." She grabbed the car door with both hands. "I'll do anything. Just help me with this baby situation and I don't know. I'll sign whatever you want. I'll give you anything." I looked at her for a long moment. An idea was forming in my head, kind of a terrible one, but I was so angry I didn't care anymore. The rage was sitting in my chest like a hot coal. "Okay," I said slowly. "I'll help you." Her whole face lit up like Christmas morning. "Really? Oh my God, thank you." I knew you'd understand. I knew you. On one condition. I cut her off. Dad's birthday dinner is in 2 weeks. Big party. I'm planning it. You wear that belly, you show up, and you announce the pregnancy publicly. To everyone. Extended family, his business partners, all of it. Janet hesitated. Her hands were still on my car door. Why would I need to do that? Because if I'm going to help you find a baby, I need to know you're actually committed to this story. You do that in front of everyone, and then I'll figure out the rest. I'll help you find a solution. She chewed her bottom lip, thinking. I could see her weighing it. Okay, yeah, I can do that. How many people are we talking? However many I can get. Don't worry about it. Okay. She nodded fast. Yeah, okay, I'll do it. Thank you, Sky. Seriously, you're saving my life. We'll see about that. I got in my car and started the engine. I'll text you the details about the party. I drove away while she stood there in the parking lot, still clutching that prosthetic belly to her chest. Through my rearview mirror, I saw him walk up to her. Even from a distance, I could tell they were arguing. She threw her hands up. He pointed at her. She turned her back. He grabbed her shoulder and spun her around. I smiled and kept driving. The next 2 weeks, I worked like I was planning a royal wedding. I called every distant relative I could think of. Dad's college roommate who moved to Arizona, his business partners from the hotel association who he only saw at conferences, my mom's cousins we only saw at funerals, great aunts, second cousins, people I'd met once at Thanksgiving 15 years ago. I told them all the same thing. Dad was having a big birthday celebration, and it would mean so much if they came. I really laid it on thick. He's been through so much this year, he deserves to be surrounded by family. Most of them said yes immediately. Some asked what happened this year. I just said vaguely that there had been some changes and left it at that. By the time a week had passed, I'd confirmed 63 people. Dad kept asking why I was making such a big deal out of his 63rd birthday. It's not a milestone or anything, he said. We were having breakfast at his house. He made scrambled eggs the way Mom used to. Why are you inviting the whole family tree? Because you deserve it, Dad. After everything this year, the business expansion, everything with the hotels, you know. I just want you to feel appreciated. His eyes got wet. He actually teared up and had to look away. That's really sweet, honey. Thank you. You're a good daughter. The guilt was there, small and sharp, but I pushed it down. He'd find out eventually what kind of daughter Janet was. Better he see it with his own eyes. Meanwhile, Janet was completely losing it. She called me 4 times a day minimum with increasingly desperate plans. Monday. What if I just say I lost it? Like a miscarriage or something? Dad will want medical records. Death certificate for the baby. Hospital bills. You think you can fake all that? Tuesday. Okay, what if I do fake medical records? Like there's websites that make fake documents, right? That's fraud, Janet. Like actual crime fraud. You want to go to jail? Wednesday. Well, what am I supposed to do, Sky? Just show up with no baby and let everyone think I'm a liar? I'd let the silence stretch out. I told you I'm working on it. Just show up to the dinner like we agreed. Thursday, she didn't call at all, which made me nervous. But then Friday morning, my phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. Local area code, but not saved in my contacts. I found someone, Janet said the second I picked up. She was breathing hard like she'd been running. A woman. She's pregnant and she needs money. What are you talking about? I met her at a clinic, the one on Harbor Street. She's willing to give up the baby for like $30,000. I sat up straighter. I was at my desk at the hotel going through payroll. You offered someone $30,000 for their baby? She approached me, actually. Janet's words were coming out fast, tripping over each other. She saw the belly and asked when I was due, and we got talking in the parking lot, and she offered. Said she can't afford another kid and she's barely making rent. This was somehow worse than anything I'd imagined. Janet, that's literally buying a baby. That's illegal. That's human trafficking. It's not trafficking, it's a private adoption. You can't just hand someone $30,000 cash for an infant in a parking lot. There are actual laws about this. Background checks, home studies, lawyers, courts. You can't just Venmo someone for a baby. Well then, help me do it legally. Her voice went high and whiny. You said you'd help me. I rubbed my temples. A headache was forming behind my eyes. Bring her by my place tomorrow. I want to meet her first. Really? Oh, thank God. Okay, what time? 2 o'clock. And Janet? Don't promise her any money yet. Let me talk to her first. She showed up Saturday at 2:15 with a woman who looked maybe 25 years old, very visibly pregnant, wearing a Taco Bell uniform shirt with a name tag that said Crystal. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail and she had bags under her eyes like she hadn't slept in days. This is her, Janet announced way too loudly as they walked into my apartment. Crystal, this is my sister Sky. She's going to help us with all the legal paperwork and stuff. Crystal looked extremely uncomfortable. She kept her hands on her belly and wouldn't make eye contact with me, just stared at my carpet. I offered her water. She took it but just held the glass without drinking. We sat in my living room and it felt like the world's most awkward business meeting. So, I said carefully, Janet mentioned you're considering adoption for your baby. I guess, yeah. Crystal's voice was quiet. I already got 2 kids with my mom and my boyfriend took off last month and I can't afford daycare for another one. Can barely afford it for the 2 I got. I'm sorry you're going through that. When are you due? 3 weeks from Tuesday. Maybe less. Doctor said yesterday the baby's measuring big, might come early. I looked at Janet. She was nodding enthusiastically like this was all perfectly normal and fine. Janet, I said slowly, you're claiming to be 5 months pregnant, right? Janet's face went completely blank. Yeah, so? So if Crystal has a baby in 3 weeks, you'd be showing up with a newborn when you're supposed to be only halfway through your pregnancy. How exactly are you planning to explain that to Dad and everyone else? The room went completely silent. You could hear the refrigerator humming in my kitchen. Crystal looked between us, confused and getting more uncomfortable by the second. Did you even think about the timeline? I asked. Janet opened and closed her mouth a few times. I thought maybe we could say it was premature, like I went into early labor. A baby born at 5 months would be in the NICU for months, Janet. It would weigh like 2 pounds. It would have tubes and monitors, and you wouldn't be able to just bring it home and show it off at family dinners. Crystal stood up abruptly. Her water sloshed in the glass. You know what? I think I should go. This is weird. Wait, no. Janet jumped up and grabbed her arm. We can figure this out. What if we just say I was further along than I thought? Like I got the dates wrong or something? Crystal pulled her arm away. You people are weird. This whole thing is weird. I thought this was like a normal adoption thing, but you're talking about lying to your family, and I don't want any part of this. She headed for the door. Janet followed her, practically begging. Please, I'll pay you $35,000. I'll get you the cash this week. With what money? I called after her. You're broke. Crystal left. The door slammed. Janet stood in my entryway, literally shaking, her hands in fists at her sides. That was your brilliant solution? I asked. I panicked, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. She sank onto my couch and put her head in her hands. What am I going to do, Sky? The dinner's in 8 days. You're going to show up like you promised. Wear the belly, make the announcement, and then we'll see what happens after that. She looked at me like I was insane. That's not a plan. That's just public humiliation. Then don't show up. Break your promise to me and figure it out yourself. She left without saying goodbye. 3 days before the party, I woke up to 17 text messages from Janet, all sent between 1 and 3 a.m. I scrolled through them with my coffee. 1:47 a.m. Are you awake? 1:51 a.m. Sky, please answer. 1:53 a.m. I need to talk to you. 2:08 a.m. Something happened. 2:31 a.m. He found it. I called her immediately. Found what? She answered on the first ring. She was crying. The belly. He was looking for his phone charger, and he went through my drawer and he found the prosthetic belly, and now he knows everything. My heart started beating faster. Where are you right now? Bathroom. He's in the bedroom. He keeps knocking on the door saying we need to talk, but I'm too scared to go out there. What did you tell him? Nothing yet. I locked myself in here like 20 minutes ago. I could hear her breathing, shaky and uneven. Sky, what do I do? You're going to have to face him eventually. You can't live in your bathroom. She was quiet for a moment. Then I heard a knock through the phone, his voice muffled. Janet, come out. We need to discuss this like adults. I have to go, she whispered, and hung up. I didn't hear from her the rest of the night. I barely slept. Kept checking my phone, expecting another crisis text. The next morning around 9 a.m., she called me from her car. I could hear the engine running in the background. Where are you? I asked. Starbucks parking lot on 5th Street. She'd been crying so hard her voice was barely recognizable, thick and congested. I told him everything last night. And he didn't leave. I thought for sure he'd break up with me right there, but he didn't. Then what did he do? He said he'll keep the secret if I get him $40,000 for my trust fund. Immediately. Like by end of day today. She made a choking sound. He says if I don't have it by tonight, he's going to tell everyone at the birthday dinner himself. He'll stand up in front of Dad and all those people and expose everything. I almost laughed. The audacity. So tell him the truth. Tell him you don't have access to the trust fund anymore. There was a long pause, just her breathing and the car engine. Janet, I can't tell him that. Why the hell not? Because I've been telling him for months that I'm about to inherit everything, that we'll be set for life as soon as I turn 25 next year, that we can buy a house, travel, whatever we want. If he finds out I have literally nothing, he'll definitely leave me. Janet, he's blackmailing you. He's threatening you. Why do you even want to stay with him? Because I love him. Her voice broke. I know that sounds stupid, but I do. And I can't lose him and the trust fund and Dad's respect all at once. I just can't. I didn't know what to say to that. The silence stretched out. Will you give me the money? She asked quietly. No, please, Sky. I'll pay you back. I'll do anything. You don't have anything to pay me back with, and I'm not funding your blackmail. She hung up on me. That afternoon around 3 p.m., Janet showed up at my office at the hotel. Security called up first asking if I wanted to see her. I almost said no, but curiosity won. She looked terrible. Hair in a messy bun, same clothes from yesterday, eyes swollen. She walked into my office and didn't even sit down. I need an advance, she said. I was in the middle of reviewing next month's housekeeping schedules. An advance on what? Future inheritance. Whatever Dad's going to leave me when he eventually dies. I need access to it now. That's not how estates work, Janet. You can't just withdraw from someone's will while they're still alive. But you control everything now, right? The trust fund, the hotels, all the money. You can give me some if you want to. I set down my pen, looked at her directly. How much are you asking for? $40,000. And what's it for? She hesitated, shifting her weight from foot to foot. Medical bills. Pregnancy complications. I need to pay the hospital. You're not pregnant. I know that. She said it through her teeth. But he doesn't know that you know that I know that. I'll tell him I got the money from you for medical stuff, and then I'll give it to him, and he'll stop threatening me. I leaned back in my chair. Which hospital are the bills from? What? If you have medical bills for pregnancy complications, they'd be from a specific hospital, right? Which one? I'll write the check directly to the billing department. Her face turned red, started at her neck and crawled up to her hairline. That's not necessary. I can handle it. I think it is necessary. You're asking me for $40,000. That's a lot of money. I need documentation. Itemized bills, insurance statements, the works. She stood there for a few seconds just staring at me. Then she turned and walked out. The door didn't slam this time, just clicked shut softly, which somehow felt worse. That evening, my phone rang from a blocked number. I answered it anyway. I found an agency, Janet said. No hello, no explanation, just straight into it. What kind of agency? Adoption agency. They place babies with families. For a fee. It's all legal and legitimate. I put her on speaker and kept cooking dinner. How much is the fee? $45,000. But they said it takes at least 6 weeks minimum to finalize everything. Background checks, home studies, all that stuff. The dinner is in 5 days, Janet. I know. I told them I need a baby in like 2 weeks maximum, and I've already told everyone I'm 5 months pregnant. She paused. The woman asked if I was joking. And what did you say? I told her it was complicated. She said it sounded illegal and sketchy, and then she just laughed at me and hung up. I flipped my chicken in the pan. So what's your plan now? I don't know. She sounded so tired, defeated. He's getting worse. He keeps sending me Venmo requests for $40,000 with the note, baby fund, and laughing emojis. He thinks this is funny, so leave him. I can't. Why not? Because then I'll have nothing. No husband, no money, no baby, no respect from dad. I'll just be the sister who screwed up everything. You already are that sister. You're just delaying everyone finding out. She hung up. 2 days before the party, she called me from dad's house. I'm staying here now, she said. I told dad the apartment stresses the baby. Too much noise from the neighbors. Does he believe you? I think so. He keeps asking if I'm okay though. Says I seem really anxious. That's because you are really anxious. He offered to pay for better doctors today. Whatever I need, he said. He wants to make sure the baby's healthy. Her voice cracked. I almost told him the truth right there. Almost just said it and got it over with. Why didn't you? Because I saw his face when he was talking about becoming a grandpa. He looked so happy, Sky. Happier than I've seen him since Mom died. I couldn't take that away from him. You're going to have to eventually. I know. She was quiet for a second. Is there any way this ends okay? Like any possible scenario where I don't lose everything? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, that's what I thought. She hung up. The day before the party, Dad called me while I was confirming final headcount with the restaurant. Is your sister okay? He asked. I put the restaurant on hold. What do you mean? She's been staying here all week. Says the apartment is too loud, but I think something else is going on. She barely eats. She's on her phone constantly. She keeps crying in the bathroom. Did you ask her about it? I tried this morning. She just said she's worried about the baby. Worried something's wrong with it. So I told her we could go to the doctor today. Get an ultrasound. Make sure everything's fine. He paused. She got really upset and locked herself in the guest room. The guilt was stronger now. Harder to ignore. Maybe she's just overwhelmed. First pregnancy and everything. Maybe. He didn't sound convinced. The party's tomorrow night, right? Yeah, 7 p.m. The Italian place on Market Street. 60 people seems like a lot for just a birthday. You deserve it, Dad. You've worked hard this year. Expanded the business. Dealt with a lot of changes. I meant the wedding disaster but didn't say it directly. I just want you to know you're appreciated. He got quiet. When he spoke again, his voice was thick. Thank you, sweetheart. Really. I know this year's been hard on you too, with the wedding falling through and everything. I'm really proud of how you've handled it all. You're stronger than I ever was. I had to get off the phone before I broke down or told him everything. I gotta go, Dad. Still finalizing stuff for tomorrow. Okay. Love you, honey. Love you too. I sat there for a minute after we hung up, just staring at my phone. Then I called the restaurant back and confirmed 65 people. A few more had RSVP'd yes that morning. The day of the party, Janet texted me at 6:04 a.m. I can't do this. I was already awake. Had been since 5. I called her immediately. Yes, you can, I said. Everyone's going to be there. Everyone, Sky, all those people. What if someone asks me medical details about the pregnancy? What if Dad wants to feel the baby kick? What if someone who's actually been pregnant figures out something's off? Then you deal with it. You're an adult. You committed to this. You said you found a solution. Her voice went sharp. You said if I showed up and did the announcement, you'd handle the rest. What's the solution? I hadn't actually found anything, but I said, show up tonight and you'll find out. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. Be there at 6:30. Wear the belly. Don't be late. I hung up before she could argue. The venue was perfect. The restaurant had set up their private room in the back with round tables covered in white tablecloths, a small stage area for speeches, soft lighting. They'd hung a banner that said happy birthday in gold letters. I got there at 5:30 to make sure everything was ready. The staff was setting out appetizers. The bar was fully stocked. Everything looked good. Janet arrived at 6:27, 3 minutes early. She was wearing a dark blue maternity dress that actually looked nice on her. The prosthetic belly was positioned perfectly underneath, looking natural and believable. Her makeup was done, hair curled. If I didn't know better, I'd think she was actually pregnant. But her hands were shaking when she walked up to me. "Where's your husband?" I asked. "Coming separately. We had a fight in the car, so I just left without him." She looked around the empty room. "How many people did you say were coming?" 65 confirmed. Maybe more. Her face went pale. "That's a lot of people, Sky. It's Dad's birthday. He deserves a crowd. Are you sure about this? About making me announce in front of everyone?" I looked at her directly. "It's too late to back out now. You made your choice when you married my fiancé in my wedding dress." She flinched like I'd slapped her. Guests started arriving at 6:45. Dad's college roommate from Boston who I hadn't seen in 10 years. His business partners from the hotel association. Cousins from Mom's side. Great aunts who smelled like perfume and mothballs. People kept coming and coming until the room was packed. Janet stood against the wall near the bathrooms, sipping water from a plastic cup, trying to look calm. But I could see her eyes darting around, counting people, getting more panicked. At 7:15, her husband walked in. He was wearing a button-down shirt and jeans, no tie. He didn't even glance at Janet, just found a seat at one of the back tables and immediately pulled out his phone. Dad was in the center of the room talking to his old business partner about expanding to the coast. He had no idea what was about to happen. He looked happy, relaxed. He'd worn his good suit, the one Mom bought him for their 20th anniversary. The guilt twisted in my stomach, but I ignored it. At 7:45, I asked the restaurant staff to get everyone's attention for speeches. They dimmed the lights slightly and turned on the small microphone at the front. People quieted down. Chairs scraped as everyone turned to face forward. I walked up to the mic. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for coming tonight to celebrate my dad. It means the world to him that you're all here. I paused, looked around the room. 67 people. I'd counted. Before we eat, my sister Janet has some really exciting news she wants to share about the baby. I looked directly at her. She was frozen against the wall, her water cup halfway to her mouth. Everyone started clapping, turning in their seats to look at her. Smiling, excited, she had no choice. She set down her water and walked slowly to the front of the room. Each step looked painful. Her face had gone completely white. She took the microphone from me with both hands. They were visibly shaking. Hi everyone, her voice cracked. Yeah, so, we found out last week. It's a boy. More clapping. Someone in the back whooped. Dad was beaming, standing up to get a better view. We're really excited, and that's when the door to the private room opened. Crystal walked in, the pregnant woman from the clinic. Except now she looked like she was about to pop. Huge belly, swollen ankles, one hand on her lower back. She was wearing that same Taco Bell uniform shirt, and she had a hospital bracelet on her wrist. The room went dead silent. Crystal walked straight up to the front where Janet was standing. Her footsteps were the only sound. She stopped right in front of Janet and said, loud enough for the entire room to hear, "You're the one who offered me $30,000 for my baby 3 weeks ago." Janet's mouth fell open. The microphone slipped in her hands. I don't. Yes, you do. Crystal pulled out her phone. I got all the text messages right here. Want me to read them out loud? She didn't wait for an answer. Started scrolling. Please, I'll pay you whatever you need. I'm so desperate, you don't understand. I can give you $35,000 cash if you meet me tonight. Should I keep going? She turned the phone around, held it up so people in the front row could see the screen. I watched their faces change from confusion to shock to disgust. Dad stood up from his table. What is going on? What is this? Janet backed away from the microphone. I don't know what she's talking about. I've never seen this woman before. Yes, you have. Crystal's voice was getting louder. You chased me down in the clinic parking lot and literally begged me to give you my baby because you're not actually pregnant. The room exploded. Everyone talking at once, chairs scraping, people standing up to see better. That's when Janet's husband stood up from his table in the back. He had this horrible smirk on his face, like he was enjoying every second. She's right, he announced to the entire room. His voice carried. Janet's not pregnant. She's been wearing a fake belly this whole time. Everyone turned to stare at him, then back at Janet. He started walking toward the front. Janet backed up until she hit the wall, trapped between the stage area and the crowd. Show them, he said when he reached her. Show everyone what's under that pretty dress. Stop it. Janet's voice was tiny, barely a whisper. Show them or I will. He reached for the hem of her dress. Janet screamed and slapped him hard across the face. The sound cracked through the room like a gunshot. He grabbed her wrist. She tried to pull away. They struggled, yanking at each other while everyone watched. Two of Dad's friends rushed forward and pulled them apart. One grabbed the husband. The other stood in front of Janet protectively. But the damage was done. During the struggle, the prosthetic belly had shifted sideways under her dress. You could see the unnatural angle of it, the way it didn't move like a real pregnant belly would. Everyone could see it wasn't real. The room erupted again, louder this time. People gasping, some standing up, others covering their mouths in shock. Dad pushed through the crowd. His face had gone from happy to red to purple. He walked straight up to Janet. Lift your dress, he said. His voice was shaking. Dad, please. Please don't make me. Lift your dress and show me you're actually pregnant. Right now. I can't do this. She was crying so hard she could barely breathe, mascara running down her face in black streaks. I walked over. I'll do it. Everyone went quiet again, waiting. I reached for the hem of Janet's dress. She didn't stop me, didn't move at all, just stood there crying. I lifted it just enough to show the edge of the silicone prosthetic strapped around her stomach, the beige color of it against her actual skin, the Velcro straps. Janet made this horrible choking animal sound. She grabbed the prosthetic with both hands and ripped it off herself. The Velcro made a loud tearing noise. She threw it on the floor in the middle of the room in front of 67 people. It landed with a dull thud and just sat there, this deflated flesh-colored thing on the restaurant floor. Nobody moved, nobody spoke. Everyone just stared at it. Then all at once the room erupted into chaos. People shouting, gasping, talking over each other. Some of the older relatives stood up and walked out immediately without saying a word. Others pulled out their phones and started filming. A few were crying. Dad grabbed Janet by both shoulders. His hands were shaking so hard I could see it from where I stood. Was any of it real? His voice broke. Any of it at all? Janet was sobbing. I needed the money, Dad. He only wanted me because he thought I had the trust fund, and I couldn't tell him I didn't. And then it snowballed and I didn't know how to stop it, and you lied to my face for 6 months. His voice was getting louder. You let me buy baby furniture. You let me tell everyone at my company that I was going to be a grandfather. You let me plan my whole future around being a grandpa. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean. Yes, you did. You meant every bit of it. He let go of her and stepped back. And Sky? He turned to me. His eyes were wet. You knew about this. I nodded. Couldn't speak. For how long? Since the wedding. Why didn't you tell me? Because you wouldn't have believed me, Dad. You needed to see it yourself. He stared at me for what felt like forever. Then he just shook his head and stepped back from both of us. Janet's husband was still standing near the front, wiping blood from his lip with a napkin. He started walking toward the exit. Dad moved faster than I'd ever seen him move. He got in front of the door, blocking it. "You're not going anywhere," Dad said. "Get out of my way, old man. Tell me your part in this. Tell me right now or I'm calling the police." I didn't do anything. She lied to me too. I'm a victim here. I pulled out my phone. My hand was steady even though my heart was pounding. "That's interesting. Because I have a recording of you talking about how you've been playing both of his daughters for 8 months to get hotel money." I hit play, turned the volume all the way up. His voice came through crystal clear. "Dude, I've been playing both sisters for 8 months. Sky's got that steady hotel manager money, but Janet's sitting on the real inheritance." The whole recording played. Every word, every laugh, every calculation about which sister was worth more money. Dad's face went from purple to almost black. His hands curled into fists. When the recording ended, he didn't say anything, just pulled his arm back and punched Janet's husband square in the jaw. The guy went down hard, crashed into a table, sent champagne glasses flying. Blood poured from his nose onto the white tablecloth. Dad's brother ran over and grabbed Dad's arm. "Don't. He's not worth it. He's not worth you getting arrested." The husband scrambled backward on the floor like a crab until he hit the wall. Then he got up, holding his bleeding face, and ran out of the restaurant. The room was complete chaos now. People filming everything on their phones, some trying to comfort Dad, others gathering their coats to leave. The restaurant manager was in the corner frantically talking to someone on his phone, probably the cops. Slowly, people started leaving, making quiet excuses. "Early morning tomorrow, not feeling well, should probably get going," anything to escape the disaster. Within 20 minutes, the room had cleared out. Appetizers untouched on the tables, champagne bottles unopened, the birthday banner still hanging on the wall. Just me, Dad, and Janet left. Janet had slid down the wall and was sitting on the floor next to where the prosthetic belly had fallen. Her maternity dress was wrinkled and stained with mascara. She looked up at Dad with these empty eyes. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry, Daddy." Dad stared down at her for a full minute, maybe longer. The silence was crushing. Then he said, quiet but sharp as broken glass, "No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught." He picked up his coat from the back of a chair and headed for the exit. Didn't look back, didn't say goodbye, just walked out into the night. I grabbed my coat too, started to follow him. Janet reached out and grabbed my ankle with both hands. "Please don't leave me like this. Please, Sky. I can't be alone right now." I looked down at her sitting there on the restaurant floor, surrounded by abandoned champagne glasses and birthday decorations, still wearing that maternity dress with nothing underneath, the prosthetic belly lying next to her like a deflated balloon. "You left yourself like this," I said. Then I walked out.